Guys, what is going on? You're checking out an all-new The RCWR Show coming at you for February 5th of 2020, Wednesday night. It's your Wednesday night edition, your Wednesday night fix of The RCWR Show. We are live. I am loving it. Okay, so we had a little bit of a delay there. I was ready to go. I was in front of this daggone computer, ready to go, fired up everything, and the last step I always do right before I press the live button, I hit my recorder just to make sure that, okay, anything weird happens, I've got my mixer recording everything in the background. So the software I'm using that's tied into the mixer, for some reason, the recording software wasn't picking up my mixer. So I didn't realize until about the hard way, I had so many recording applications open. I ended up having to close all of them. Nothing that I needed, honestly. I just ended up closing all of them. And then that seemed to fix the problem. But yeah, we were here on time. So sorry about that delay for those of you that were waiting for the stream. But hey, we're rocking, we're rolling, we're ready to go. As always, we're here talking. If it's Wednesday night, we are talking AEW Dynamite and we are talking WWE NXT. It was funny too because there was somebody that had asked me a question the other day in the comment section on YouTube, because I do go through every single comment that comes my way. So just so you guys know, I read every single comment. And somebody had asked me, hey, what do you think about AEW? And I said, well, if you want to know what I think about AEW, check out the shows on Wednesday and you'll find out. It was somewhat of a newer listener, so curious to see what he thinks as far as my critique and all that of AEW. So interesting. So some bullet points, man. You mean, you go over to the AEW side of things, and this week was all about Cody Rhodes taking those 10 lashings. And if he was able to successfully take those 10 lashings, then he would be one step closer to getting his hands on Mr. MJF at the Rebellion pay-per-view that is going to be coming up later this month. Also, Dark Uno, the Dark Order, they still have got their eyes set on Christopher Daniels, and they really cranked it up a notch this week. Joey Janela had took on Kip Sabian, kind of following up on what they had did from last week. Moxley was in action against Ortiz, with Jericho and other members of the Inner Circle just nearby. Meanwhile, over on WWE NXT, we had Charlotte Flair in the house. We heard about this announcement as early as Monday Night Raw that she was going to be making an appearance on NXT to give her answer on whether or not she was going to be facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania for that NXT championship. We also saw a phenomenal matchup between Dijakovic. Dijakovic was in action as he took on Killian Dane. Both of these men trying to lay their claim to fame here and why they feel they are the more dominant and true number one contender that should take on Keith Lee for his NXT North American Championship. And somebody we have not seen in forever made their triumphant return to NXT tonight. Of course, I am talking about the dreamy one, Velveteen Dream. So a lot of stuff that went down on both shows, so we'll definitely dive into it. I'll also give you guys a couple of headlines as well. Hey man, look, before we get ready to talk about that, by the way, I just want to give a quick shout out. This isn't long and drawn out, but I will have a lot more to say on a special edition of 30 with Lee. We will be dropping this week, and it's funny too because, you know, I was ready to talk about the whole Aaron Hernandez thing with Tams, and then we get hit with this news. Now, it's not that much of a bombshell news or anything like that, nothing devastating, but for people that are around my respected age group, definitely older, so our parents, our grandparents, they definitely, I would like to believe they're having some nice fond memories right now and everything. But rest in peace to legendary film actor, director Kirk Douglas. Not Michael Douglas, talking about Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas' father. Yes, folks, believe it or not, for those of you that maybe were not aware, Michael Douglas' father was still alive all the way up until now. He passed away earlier today at the age of, get this, 103. 103 years old. Now, look, there is nothing to be sad about whatsoever because, and I know, look, if you were one of those type of fans, you just ate, sleep, you breathed all things the Douglas family. You faithfully checked out all of the Kirk Douglas movies and the Michael Douglas movies. You know, I can definitely understand it if you are feeling a little bit melancholy right now or whatever, but I would say turn that melancholy and, you know, turn that frown upside down, so to speak. And I would say, look, we shouldn't be in sorrow. We shouldn't be feeling pain right now and anything like that. If anything, we should be saying to ourselves, 103 years of age is a fantastic freaking run. I mean, we can only be so fortunate through everything that we now know in science, medicine, everything in regards to health, right? Everything that we know now as far as health and medicine and the advancements in our technology and sciences behind it. I mean, it has made dramatic improvements in the past 25 years. And, you know, we now know that, okay, you know, well, if we eat this, this is what we're possibly going to be risking as a result of eating that. Okay, you know, it's all about making smarter choices and everything. And if we can be as lucky, because despite all the nutritional things that you may do, those steps that you may take to ensure that you're not going to have any issues whatsoever, you still run the gambit of when your time is up, right? But to be in a fortunate position where you can live to see 100, I mean, that's great, right? And, you know, if you ask me straight up, I don't know. I don't really know if I would want to live 100 and up. I don't really know that. And I'll tell you the reason why. Not that I have a choice, right? But I don't think I could go. It would be weird for me. It really would. And I can only imagine how it maybe was for Kirk, because to be that old, to be that up there in age, not really that old, just to be that up there in age, and you see so many friends, so many colleagues, right? So many friends, so many associates that pass, and you're still around and you're trying your best to adapt to these new modern times and everything, right? Television, technology and all that. I don't really know if you know, again, don't have a choice. We all do not have a choice, but I can only imagine how tough it might have been for a guy like Kirk Douglas to be around all these decades later and everything, on top of everything I mentioned a few seconds ago. So look, 103, that's a nice long life. It really, really is. And I put out a tweet pretty much as soon as the news had first broke out and everything. And many people that are definitely within my respected age range know this for heart, which is, you know, by the time us kids that were born in the 80s came about, Kirk Douglas had about maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 more movies where he was either the lead guy or he was co-lead, and then he kind of just pumped the brakes altogether, and rightfully so, because he was getting up there in age and everything, right? And by the way, let me know if you guys are able to hear me okay, because I know I had said what I said about the audio issue earlier. So hopefully that did not resonate into the live stream. So if somebody could just, if you can hear me okay, just say, you know, hey, I can hear you, you know, that way I know. And I would hope that if you guys can't hear me by now up to this point, you guys will definitely say something. All right. But yeah, if you were around my age range growing up in the 80s and everything, you know, by the time we came about, Kirk Douglas' acting career was pretty much already and done with. It was all about Michael Douglas and everything. But our parents and our grandparents, they hipped us to what Kirk was all about and everything. And I mean, we would be here all night just going over the phenomenal movies that he's done over the decades. Like I said, I will definitely later this week do a dedicated edition of 30 with Lee. Thank you, Carson. I appreciate that. Thank you, Carson. I appreciate that. I will definitely do a dedicated 30 with Lee on the life and the career of Kirk Douglas with Tams, because Tams was as much of a Kirk Douglas fan as I am and everything, right down to the point she was ecstatic when she saw that, or rather Michael Douglas, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about, but I remember when it was revealed Michael Douglas was attached to Ant-Man. And Tammy was a big Michael Douglas and Kirk Douglas fan when she had saw Michael Douglas, because it had been a couple of years since it had been a couple of years since she saw Michael Douglas. She goes, wow, he's really looking more and more like his dad. And I said, yeah, how crazy is that? What's up, Austin? Thank you, man. And I said, yeah, how crazy is that? He's looking more and more like his dad. So, but yes, come on, don't feel sad, folks. 103. And look, not for nothing, I was one of the main people over the years, and I'm surprised nobody did this, but, and maybe I will from here on out, but believe it or not, there actually used to be a betting pool. Some websites had this back in the day. Like I can remember it as early as maybe 15 years ago. There actually used to be betting pools on what year will Kirk Douglas die. I BS you not. And you would thought for sure, okay, this person's definitely, and Kirk outlives them all and everything. I mean, look at how many people he outlived. He almost had a Undertaker undefeated streak there as far as all the people that passed before him, right? Just stop and think about that, right? Prince, Whitney Houston, Chris Cornell, the dude from Linkin Park, just on and on and on and on and on. Like, all these people pass and Kirk Douglas is still around. You're like, wow, that is so freaking surreal and everything. So Godspeed, rest in peace, Kirk Douglas. But yeah, good stuff, man. Great. I'm smiling because I'm thinking about the great body of work that he left behind, and how phenomenal of an actor in his own respected right Michael is. Great body of work. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to talking about him on 30 Whitley, and the timing is awesome too, because we are into that 31 days of Oscar and everything. So it's timing is perfect right now. So AEW tonight and NXT. Let me tell you something, man. Both shows tonight, I don't know, but for me, it really kind of felt as though I was going through the motions on AEW. There was a couple of bright spots and everything, but I really felt as though I was going through the motions. And if you were to ask me off the break, remember, you guys come to me, and Carson brings up a good question. Carson's like, why would you bet on the day someone would die? Now, as cruel and all that as it may sound, dude, in case you don't know, there is a betting pool for everything. Everything. There is a betting pool, right? Now, I'm happy to say to you guys, I never resorted to any type of betting like that where I'm betting on, hey, when is this person going to die? If anything, there was a really cool idea that I had a couple of years back where once I realized Kirk was 85, 86, 87, I'm like, man, he's outlived a lot of people. I actually had an idea of, hey, wouldn't it be cool to do a Kirk Douglas website where you could kind of have him be like the Undertaker, and you could show like all the people that he's outlived, and essentially be like the streak continues or something like that. But dude, I mean, as fucked up and morbid as that sounds about the whole, man, why would you want to bet on? There is betting sites for everything. You just gotta do the proper research online. And, I'm not telling you anything different that a lot of people like already know. I mean, the fact that you would ask that question and you weren't aware, I'm not calling you naive in any type of way, so don't take it the wrong way. But yeah, dude, there are dark places on the web where, that's how it is. That's how it is. I'm not justifying it in any type of way or anything like that, but there is something, just how you can go on Facebook and, hey, I wonder if there's a group for people that like chicken noodle soup. Yeah, we got something for that. There is something for everybody on the web if you know where to look. And sometimes it boils down to if you know the right people. So that's enough talk for Kirk Douglas. Like I said, I'll have a lot more to say on the 30 with Lee joint. I may bring up a couple of more non-wrestling related tidbits, but we're heavy on the wrestling. So going back to AEW and NXT this week from here on out, I really felt as though I was going through the motions of AEW. There was a couple of bright spots. We'll talk about that. But it really felt as though I was going more so through the motions, just watching it, just to be watching it. So if you ask me off the break, Lee, who had the better show this week? I would say to you, definitely NXT had the better show. But, what is going on with the ratings, right? Because, okay, we can admit that NXT for the past couple of weeks, they've had the better product. But when it comes to the ratings, right? But then, however, at the same time, if you've been keeping track of the ratings, and we do bring up the ratings on this show weekly, right? You see that AEW has been losing a bit of its viewership, despite the fact that they are still kicking NXT's behind, but not by much, right? So we'll talk more about the ratings later on and my predictions. And by the way, in case you missed it, I was very close to my ratings predictions for last Wednesday's shows. So we'll do a recap of that later on, but I was very close. So that segment where I get ready to offer my thoughts on the ratings for this week, I think that's going to be most interesting. But yeah, AEW tonight, look, a couple of things that they did right? And I don't like making this be a full-blown recap show. There's plenty of guys that can do that. For me, bullet points, talk about key points. One of the things that I did like about Dynamite tonight, we had saw the reintroduction, if you will, of someone that we had saw at Double or Nothing, and we saw them at Fyter Fest. Of course, I'm talking about Yaka Sakazaki, okay? And she is from what's the promotion? Tokyo Yoshi Pro, all right? She's mainly been doing her thing over there. So here we are once again, as far as the AEW universe goes, we're seeing her once again. This is her third appearance in AEW, right? This time, though, this is her first appearance on AEW Dynamite. So she is taking on the Doctor, Britt Baker, and everything. And kudos to upper management and the commentators working hand in hand there and educating the listeners at home, the fans at home, of, hey, yeah, this girl, she was at blah, 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 giving us the context, giving us the backstory. What was one of the main things I've been talking about on this show for the past several weeks now? I've been saying that with regards particularly to their women's division, but just really all across the board, but definitely for their women's division, AEW needed to do a better job in when they're introducing somebody or reintroducing somebody that we haven't seen in weeks to months, to tell us a little bit of a backstory. Don't just have them pop up as though we are supposed to be giving a damn about them when they really haven't been making that many appearances to the point we should be giving a damn about them and everything, right? So I like the fact that as soon as her entrance music played and everything, we've got Excalibur, Jim Ross basically giving the nod to Excalibur to educate the folks at home. Hey, what's her backstory? So that was great how they stringed that together and everything. But I still feel in my heart of hearts that we need to get to a point where we start doing vignettes. I still need to see vignettes for some of these guys that are popping up here, because you're still running with the impression. And see, some of the things that I would like to see AEW start doing, the fine little things, right? Take a girl like Yuka Sakazaki. I would have loved it if the PA announcer, in this case Justin Roberts, would have got on the microphone, and if he would have said, ladies and gentlemen, making her AEW Dynamite debut, Yaka, Sakazaki. I would have loved it if, and they need to start doing that. That way you're acknowledging the fact that, hey, this is a newcomer, right? And the fact that you're mentioning that this is a newcomer, that makes more people at home say, okay, yeah, I thought that was a new person, but I really wasn't quite sure. Okay, all right, well, I'm curious, what is this person about, right? But you still got to do the little video vignette things, I personally feel. And in this day and age that we're in of social media and everything, where it's easy to continue feuds and all that through social media, I would like to see some cool stuff go down where You got people that are trying to put themselves over in their upcoming match, not just on social media. I know that for a lot of the talents across the promotions, they're already doing that. But what I'm saying is for AEW, with some of these talents, especially the talents that right now cannot speak full 100% English. Their English is extremely broken and all that. That's fine. Let them continue to speak their native language. Due to English captioning, anybody that used to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access TV, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just pull a page out of that, do that in the AEW universe, right? It really would have been cool if last week, for instance, rather than just put up the graphic of Dr. Britt Baker and Yuka for this week's AEW, if we would have seen some type of a 30-second joint from Yuka, right? That really would have been nice. And then you think back to the stockpile footage that AEW has from what she did at Fyter Fest and at Double or Nothing, right? You could have easily combined that. You're telling me you couldn't make any type of a arrangement? After all, you got the Khan family in your back pocket. You couldn't make any type of an arrangement to go make a phone call to that Tokyo Yoshi promotion and get some stockpile footage from them, give them whatever amount of money they want, give them a blank check, tell them, hey, whatever you want, right? And you couldn't, build that up, and then over the course of the night, you could have done a little something and hyping up the upcoming match there with Britt Baker. You kind of have to start really thinking like that, I personally feel, right? Now, something that they did do right? Now, that was constructive feedback. Don't look at that as me shitting. The way we do it on this show, I praise, I give constructive criticism and feedback where it's given. It's all about ways to improve when they can, right? Now, the one thing that they did do right in this particular case, though, they ended this match, first time ever Britt Baker taking on Yuka, they ended it in such a way where even though Yuka came out with an upset victory, it cost her. And it cost her big, right? It cost her big because post-match, you got referee Aubrey Edwards. And let me say something about Aubrey real quick here. Sometimes I look at her. I don't care what anybody says, right? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I know some people, they don't react. But for me, I think she's a beautiful woman. I think she's an attractive woman. To the point, I look at her a lot of times, and yeah, she can be distracting. I admit that to you guys. She can be distracting. Distracting from the standpoint of she's doing too much as a referee to get herself over, right? And sometimes you kind of have to take a step back and go, well, wait a minute here. Who are we supposed to be paying attention to? Is it about the talent or is it about the ref, right? You've seen enough of her action to know exactly what I'm talking about, right? But then you have other instances where she's just doing what she normally does, and yet you're more invested in her as opposed to the people that's in the ring fighting, as was the case tonight. And I got to be honest with you, I was more invested in Aubrey and her reactions to Britt Baker than I was with Britt Baker taking on Yuka. I was under the impression that something was gonna, maybe start brewing between Baker and Aubrey. That was maybe eventually, and it's not a half-assed, crappy idea, honestly. But maybe you're gonna set something off where eventually these two get into a feud, and maybe one night only, these two have a match against each other, right? Because you look at her. Aubrey is definitely pretty agile, nice and fit and everything, right? So now look, I'll tell you guys clear as day, because it never really dawned on me, because honestly, who takes the time out to research all these referees to find out if they have any type of wrestling background, if they wrestled previously or whatever, right? But I would like to believe, if I were a betting man, I would like to believe Aubrey's got some type of wrestling background, right? She knows how to do the fundamentals and everything. So, for me, I know the main story was supposed to be about Britt Baker and Yuka, but up until post-match, it really didn't resonate that way. Again, go back and watch that match. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Now that I've put that out there, and maybe you watched Dynamite the first run, now that I've put that out there, just go back and watch it again, and you'll see what I'm talking about as far as being more invested in Edwards, right? But they redeemed themselves because post-match, all right, so you got the upset victory. Okay, great. Now post-match, you got Edwards holding up Yuka's hand up high and everything, and Baker, very bitter, grabs the ring bell, comes back in there, cold clocks the hell out of Yuka straight in the face. This has Yuka lose a tooth and everything, right? Ooh, heartbreaking, right? You know, blood and all that, nice. Now, obviously, that spot, come on. Yeah, it was a little bit timing-wise, bit of a delay and all that, right? But, okay, get it. Yeah, all right, I'm with it, staying with it and everything. Add insult to injury. Baker attacks her some more, does that little, whatever that move is she likes to do, where she has the hand on that bottom teeth and everything, and she's just pulling at it, yanking at it and everything. You know, nice little visual and everything. And let me tell you something. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I was on this same show and I'm going, why not just bite down? And so I remember after the show was over, I actually, as I was brushing my teeth, I said, let me try something here. So I actually, put my hand, I did just how Britt Baker was doing her opponents. And I'm going, okay, let me see if I can bite down here. And I didn't really realize how we as a society rely so much on that bottom jaw. That bottom jaw, that is what is making everything. And if you are blocking that, holding it down in any type of way, yeah, buddy, you are SOL, right? So, now I'm coming around to that move and I'm going, okay, you know what? Person's pretty weak in the mouth. You get them down on the canvas there, unless they got some really good upper arm strength. It's probably about the only way they're going to be able to fight that move off and everything. So it's not as stupid as I had thought it was from a couple of weeks ago. So I can definitely come on this show and I can definitely admit, hey, I was wrong. But still, you need to see more of an effort from people trying to get out of that mood, whether that means they're trying to scratch the hell up out of Baker's wrist or stuff like that. Then that's kind of what we need to see going forward and everything. So, okay, Yuka loses a tooth, right? All right, she's got the W, but she lost a tooth from a bitter Britt Baker. All right, so at some point, we're going to come back to that. Obviously, those two girls, they aren't done just yet, right? Okay, cool. The other thing I need to see going forward with regards to Britt Baker, I gave her great praise last week, contrary to how some people may have felt about Baker. I felt that the promo that she cut on the Jericho Cruise and then how she followed it up the very next week, night and day, leaps and bounds of improvement, right? My one thing with regards to her this week, as she was doing the attacking and all that on Yuka and, putting the hand in the mouth and all of that, the one thing that I really did not like, that I needed to see more of, I needed to see more character from Baker, right? Don't just go in there, apply that move, do all that crazy stuff, and you're just giving the same facial reactions. Now, to her credit, she tried to summon the emotion of anger a bit, right? But for me, at least, it didn't really feel like believable anger. I really would have loved it. She didn't have to be belligerent, right? But it really would have been nice had she let out some screams, right? You like that, huh? Huh? Hey, you like that win now, huh? How's that win doing for you? It really would have been nice to hear her do some trash talking. Just get loose. Get into the moment and everything. Have some fun with it. Play with it and everything, right? So I need to see her going forward, right? She's doing okay with some of the facial expressions that she's making and everything. But what I need her to start working on next is those things. And then also playing the crowd. You had them for 2 consecutive weeks there in the palm of your hands. This week, in my estimation, it kind of died down dramatically, right? Really would have been good had you been saying all of those things, and then after you were done, Look at those people in attendance. Ha, you guys like that? Huh? Ah, look at your winner now. How about that, huh? Right? That really would have been good. Now, to her credit, when she was coming down to the ring, she did look like she was trying to do a little bit of trash talking with one of the fans or whatever. Keep at it. You know, all of those things. Just keep at it. Keep playing that crowd. Work them. Ultimately, that is going to be a continued collaboration with Baker and the Bookers. But those things, do a couple of those tweaks, and yeah, they definitely are going to be okay. You know, while we're talking about the women of AEW as well, I know we're kind of going a little bit all over the place here and everything, right? But that's just how the show is sometimes, but at least we're staying on topic and everything. While we're talking about the women's division, right? Like the spot there with Kenny Omega, right? So let's set this up properly for you guys, right? So Kenny Omega, Heyman, Adam Page, they were in action as they had teamed up with the Bucks to take on Pentagon Jr., Rey Fenix, the Butcher, and the Blade. Butcher, Blade, the Lucha Brothers, they defeated those guys, right? Again, Lucha Brothers, Butcher, Blade, they defeated Omega, Page, and the Bucks, all right? And pretty much after we come back from a commercial break, we see Kenny Omega is still hanging out in the ring. Now, keep in mind, you had a little bit of miscommunication that was kicking in, and Young Bucks, they're very concerned, at least not as far as Kenny Omega. They're mainly concerned about Adam Page. And as we had saw later on when they caught up to Page backstage, they said, look, man, if you keep operating the way you're operating, you can kiss those tag titles goodbye. And we can tell you what your problem is right now. And they pretty much had took away his cup of beer, essentially letting them know you got a drinking problem, dude, right? So, you're like, okay, all right, we get it. But when they came back from commercial break, Adam was in the ring, still a bit in disbelief of what all had panned out. And you had Pac appear on the Titantron. And Pac was with Rio. And so Rio, with her championship, she's standing right there as Pac is just shouting out these words. You've been indulging me all week. Every single week for the past couple of weeks, you've been indulging me. You haven't been giving me what I want. And now you've caused this, right? And he's just, now it looks as though he's about to get physical with Rio, right? Now, I'm a stickler for detail here. Here's the one problem I had with that entire segment. And I got to look at it from the way they did the Pac Rio thing. You got Rio standing right there with this concerned look on her face, standing oh so close to Pac. This is the one time where you should be going, don't stand so close to me, right? This is the one time, right? Now, we all remember when we were babies, right? And for some of us, we've seen video footage of ourselves when we were babies, right? Or maybe we're an uncle right now, or, you know, or a grandpa, depending on, right, when you had kids and all that, right? But, you know, when you're looking at a baby, or even your favorite animal, when something is wrong, they know it. They show that fear, they show that intimidation, they're scared shitless, and if push comes to shove, what do they do? What do? They try to retreat, right? Lord knows how many times I have vacuumed in this house, and when my furry little daughter, Maggie, sees that vacuum coming, she goes, ah, Nope, don't like that machine. Nope. she hauls ass. Okay? So my whole thing is, I'm a stickler for detail. I really wish that Rio, she sold the intimidation, the scare. She sold that. I wish she would have tried to run away. That's it. I wish she would have tried to run away. Okay, she may not know English that well and all of that, but damn it, she knows when she's in a position where something don't feel right. I think I'm being threatened here. I think I need to haul ass, right? And then to just see Pac just, where you think you're going, honey? I'm not done with you. You stay right here if you know what's good for you. Right, and just hold her by the arm the entire time as he's cutting the promo to Kenny Omega. If they would have just done that simplistic thing, I would have been okay with that, right? They were missing that. You know, I was there. I loved it. Omega finally caved in and was like, no, don't touch her. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You got Pac. All right, finally. It's sad it had to come to this. Been asking for weeks. And I had to threaten your girl here just to get the damn match? Okay. But what was really, I think, kind of savable for that whole thing, and the way it was almost kind of justified, but I still feel Pac should have put his hands on Rio. Just if she tried to run, right? Just have her run one time, and he grabs her. And she just, right? Tiny little 80-pound Rio. Yeah, she ain't going anywhere, right? She's not going to even try it because he's grabbed her. She knows something bad is going to happen to her if she tries to roll out again. Okay, she's staying put, right? But I love the line that Pac had delivered where he said, hey, and if you thought for a second that I was going to put my hands on Rio here, Kenny, I might be a bastard, but I'm not a beast like she is. And then he walks off and you're going, okay. So, okay, Pac's giving her props. He's calling her a beast, apparently. Oh, well, that's very complimentary. Since when is Pac kind of complimentary here? And then, wham, Nyla Rose attacks Rio from behind, right? Makes quick work of her, puts the camera in her face, and says, Rio, your ass is mine next week. Oh, for me, even though I'm a stickler for detail, that saved that backstage segment. I love that. That was a nice setup and everything. So, yeah, it looks like next week on Dynamite, we're going to be seeing Nyla Rose and Rio, because you know Nyla Rose is the new #1 contender and everything. She has been for the past couple of weeks now. Now she gets her hands on Rio, and I believe the Women's Championship is going to be online. Also, while we're talking about next week as well, here's some other stuff that's going to be going down with Dynamite. SCU will be taking on Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. It's going to be for the titles rematch. And in 2 weeks at the State Farm Arena for the AEW Tag Team titles, check this out. 2 weeks at the State Farm Arena in hot Atlanta, Georgia there. It is going to be a tag team battle royale. Whoever wins that will become #1 contenders to face the tag champions at the Rebellion pay-per-view. Also, at that same event, you're going to have Cody taking on Wardlow. Also, in 3 weeks, I know this is a lot of information. Don't worry. We'll be here recapping it. Don't worry. In 3 weeks from today, Kenny Omega will be facing Pac. Kenny Omega will be facing Pac in a 30-minute Iron Man match in Kansas City. I don't know why, but for some reason I have Page. I have Omega taking on Page. That doesn't make any sense. Sometimes I have auto correction. So if I am correct, if the computer in this case, the iPad, if it did correct that is the right information, let me know. But if I'm not mistaken, it should be in 3 weeks. Omega takes on Pac, 30-minute Iron Man match. Again, that's going to be in Kansas City at the Silverstein Eye Center Arena. And then if that's not enough AEW news for you guys, Double or Nothing is going to be going down on Saturday, May the 23rd. Tickets for that goes on sale Valentine's Day. What better way to come off as a selfish prick than to go to your significant other and say, hey, honey. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me get nice and romantic for a second here. Hey, baby. Happy Valentine's Day. I've been thinking about you all day. Yes, I have. I got the chocolates for you. I got the flowers. I got you the nice Valentine's Day card. I made your favorite CD with all your favorite songs. Of course, I had to make sure I put boys to men, I'll make love to you in there, right? But yeah, peep this out, baby. Peep this out. You know, I was thinking for Valentine's Day and all that, really nice, cool gift. I was thinking about 2 tickets to AEW's Double or Nothing coming. Come on. I mean, seriously. You know, nothing is more romantic than giving your significant other AEW Dynamite tickets on Valentine's Day. Please, fellas, unless your woman is a diehard wrestling fan like you are, I'm telling you right now, right? Don't do that. Don't do them like that. Don't do them like that. Now, I will tell you this. If you're going to buy the tickets on Valentine's Day, don't let your significant other know about it. Don't let it be announced on that day. Tell them the next day or whatever so they can feel as special and all that other jazz that day. Tell them the day after, right? Or tell them after the Valentine's Day weekend, since Valentine's is on a Friday this year. But don't be coming at them with the whole, I got tickets for Double or Nothing, baby. You know, like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. So, yeah, that's all the stuff that's going to be going down there. Speaking of AEW, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the show. While I'm thinking about all that information, and that was a lot of information. If you guys are maybe thinking about going to some of these events that's going to be coming up, head on over to AEWTix.com. Again, AEWTix.com. Check that out when you can. And yeah, there was something else. Yeah, April 1st and on April 8th. Looks like the pre-sale codes for AEW shows in those respected areas went down as well. So AEW Dynamite is going to be in St. Louis on April 8th. You got tickets going on sale this Friday. February 7th is when that pre-sale is going down. And it looks like Milwaukee is up for grabs as well. The show in Milwaukee is going to be happening on April 1st. So again, the show happening in Milwaukee, April 1st. And then you've got St. Louis on April 8th. If you guys are in those respected areas, because I know some of our listeners are in those areas, here's your codes right now so you can take advantage. For the Milwaukee show, enter Fleet MIL. Again, Fleet MIL. For St. Louis, enter Fleet STL. Again, for St. Louis, enter Fleet STL. And good luck to you. All right, so some more AEW Dynamite here. We had Moxley opening up the show, taking on Ortiz. It's a good match. It's a good matchup there. And we had Chris Jericho and crew at ringside. Actually, no, they were more so on commentating. Now that I think about it, they were actually on commentating. And Moxley defeating Ortiz. Post-match, though, you had a couple of members of the Inner Circle. I know Santana definitely had jumped in there. He was one of the first to get his hands on Moxley, and it was looking at, though, once again, the numbers game was going to be a little bit too much for Moxley. However, Moxley had successfully did the dirty deeds on Santana, much like he did to Ortiz to pick up the W there in the opener. And then afterwards, as Jericho and the rest of the Inner Circle were getting ready to come on down, because they hesitated at first. Once Jericho had saw Santana was in there and he got the cheap shot and everything, Jericho was enjoying what he was seeing. So the rest of the Inner Circle actually did not come down the ringside just yet. It actually wasn't until Moxley got the one up on Santana, and then he pulled out car keys. Remember, same car keys that was awarded to him by Jericho a couple of weeks ago when it looked as though Moxley joined Inner Circle and everything. He takes some car keys, and Jericho already knows what's going on, right? He's so infatuated with the fact that, hey, I gave him those keys. I want those keys back. Give me those keys, right? He's so infatuated with that, he doesn't realize that Moxley, hey, payback's a son of a bitch, eye for an eye, and he actually says that out loud. Yeah, now Jericho now knows what's about to go down. By the time him and Inner Circle could get down there, Moxley's already done the damage with that one car key there in between his fists. Spiked the hell out of Santana's eye. And later on, we saw Jericho. I love the promo that he cut too, by the way. I love Jericho. You know, what type of a scumbag takes a spike and puts it in the eye, of his opponent, jeopardizing his health, his well-being, and livelihood. And I just like how he just kept going over that over and over again. And it's like, you, like you, right? So that was good. Santana vowing revenge on Moxley, right? So a little bit of unfinished business right there for those guys, right? Yeah, you can't help but wonder if for the next couple of weeks going into this Rebellion event, if Moxley is now just going to be fixated on stabbing every single guy in the inner circle, taking out their eye if he can possibly help it, or, how are the odds going to be balanced in such a way where he does not have to worry about the inner circle? That's the $1 million question right now, because, that's a lot right there. And if I were to kind of make a little bit of a bold prediction, so to speak, maybe Moxley, I don't see Moxley, this current incarnation of Moxley, I don't see him going to AEW management and saying, hey, look, I want a fair shot at Jericho for the championship. Because remember, if he were to jump out there like that, then that would go against what Moxley has been saying about AEW management. Remember, he's felt a particular way about AEW management, right? So that would be going against everything that he's been putting out these past couple of months. So that really doesn't make that much sense, does it? Right? So instead, maybe he might pull a page out of what Tommaso Ciampa had did tonight on NXT, where it was a little bit of divide and conquer, a little bit of hide and seek or whatever. And maybe Moxley might play some mind games with these guys and have them be on a hunt to look for him all throughout the arena during the pay-per-view event. Maybe he's able to take them out one by one that way. Then when it's time to go into that main event match, Jericho's in a position where he's got nobody in his corner. Moxley now has him all to himself. That seems to be the best way to possibly go with that. So we'll see how things pan out over the course of the next couple of weeks. Trent Beretta, Chuck Taylor were in action. They lost to Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. Dark Uno and his minions, including Stu Grayson, came out. And they had attacked everybody there. Orange Cassidy looked as though maybe Orange Cassidy was going to be the one saving grace. And yeah, no, right? I mean, I love me some Orange Cassidy. That's got to be one of the coolest, most fun jobs you can do. Hey, you want to make a quick $15,000? Yeah, show us up. Just get in the ring. Just put your hands in your pocket. Just walk around the ring. Easy money. Huh? Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, sure, sign me up. And I'm just waiting for the day when we get an Orange Cassidy that's pushed to the edge, and he's essentially Iron Fist or something like that. I'm waiting for that Orange Cassidy to come out, but until then, right, I'm continuing to enjoy what I'm seeing of him so far. Orange Cassidy was given a unique invitation by Dark Uno to join the Dark Order. He was presented with a mask. And Orange Cassidy, in his own way, kind of funny too, the way he declined it. Minions jumped the hell out of Cassidy. This had forced Daniels to come out, at which Dark Order, Uno, they all retreated. So once again, the mind games are continuing there, in the Dark Order doing their very best at the direction of their leader. Who is it? We don't know just yet, but basically them carrying out his work and trying to do their best to recruit Christopher Daniels. Remember, I don't really remember anybody else out there on social media. Gino, what's up, Gino? Gino, thank you for the super chat. For me, I think I'm the only person that said it, and you can easily go back and you can check out the previous shows. Several months back, I was the only guy that said, hey, Dark Order, if they want to try to get somebody, why not Christopher Daniels? Why not try to bring back that dark persona, bring back that fallen one? Christopher Daniels. Why not bring that back? That would be kind of badass. What the hell was that noise? Hang on a second here, guys. Just when I think I have all the notifications turned off, I get something else. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't need to know that. I know that. I just saw it on the screen. Okay, all right. I got a sound notification delay there from Gino there just now. So, but anyway, yeah, I was the first guy to say, Christopher Daniels, put him in there with the Dark Order. Like, it makes perfect sense in the world. If you want to try to take it up to that next level, make fans give a shit and everything, yeah, having him go over to the Dark Order, it's a perfect story arc. So I find it rather interesting that that's now, it's been some weeks since I said that, right? And I was just giving constructive feedback as far as, okay, how I would set it up, right? Where do you go with this whole Evil Uno Dark Order thing? And it seems like that's the direction we're steering in. I don't have a problem with this so far. And I know some people are kind of going, Matt Hardy. What about Matt Hardy? I can definitely see Matt Hardy as well. Matt Hardy, letting it be no secret how he has been disappointed with his current run in WWE and everything. And hey, rightfully so, especially given creatively everything that he is still capable of doing and all that. Hey, if he's able to work out a deal and he's able to go to AEW, that's all I got to say. That is all I got to say. All right, some other action tonight from AEW Dynamite here. See, only a couple more matches here. So we told you about that. There was a cool Darby Allin package. It was short, sweet, and simple. Basically, you had Darby Allin in this, felt like a 20-second video package. It was in black and white, bit grainy. He's wearing dark blazer, jacket, and all that. And he takes a flamethrower and he's shooting it in the direction of Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. Okay, so you're kind of going, all right, so safe to say we know exactly what's next for Darby Allin. He's got his eyes locked on those two guys. Okay, well, cool, right? So, all right, nice to have that a little bit in the background. Kip Sabian defeated Joey Janela. That actually was a pretty good matchup. As far as matches of the night goes, by the way, I would say the tag match between the Lucha Brothers, Butcher and the Blade, taking on Omega, Page, and the Bucks. I would say that definitely was your match of the night. Kip Sabian taking on Joey Janela, I didn't have any issues with that match as well. And before I get to the main attraction of AEW for the night, let me just actually make sure I'm not missing anything else, because it feels like, despite the fact that it was a 2-hour show, it feels like, yeah, that was it. I've actually gone through everything that happened on Dynamite tonight. Your main attraction of the night was Cody Rhodes taking the 10 lashings by MJF. And personally, for me, I just felt that they were really going a bit too extreme with, these lashes. I really did. Because first of all, I'm looking at the belt and I'm going, motherfucker, it's a freaking Sears belt that you can get for like $8.99 or whatever, $8.99 and $12.99. You get that same belt at Walmart or whatever. Seriously. And Kurt Angle is acting like Thomas and Tom and Jerry, and he's acting like that or whatever, and I'm looking at him and I'm going, okay, I've taken worse ass beatings by a switch, an extension cord, hockey stick. Like, I was a badass little kid, so I don't want you guys going, that's inhuman. No, I was a badass kid, man. Especially, look, when you get in your teenage years too, hey, it toughened me up though, and I came out all right, okay? But god damn, like, I'm looking at this and I'm just going, what the fuck? And then to make it even more interesting, what happens next? Come on, what happens next? He just... Those of you that can't see the webcast version, I got my arms stretched out like I'm doing the Jesus Christ pose, right? So, he's doing the Jesus, and like, I just couldn't help but go, really? I'm immediately going freaking Soundgarden. I'm going, as you stare at me, in your Jesus Christ pose, right? I'm just, come on, dude, really? The 10 lashes, it was just, it just felt a bit too biblical for me and everything. It felt like Cody playing to that whole Cody Christ narrative that's being put out there and all that. And, 10 lashings. Come on. That's nothing. You want to make it really interesting? Let's go to Pleasure Palace or whatever, and let's get a real freaking whip, right? Right. Anybody remember the scene from Glory? Here is a goddamn Glory reference. I can't believe we're doing a Glory reference tonight, right? Confederate War and all that. All right, so let me set this up properly. For anybody that's not seen Glory, I think that was like from 1991 or 1992 or something like that. All right, great cast. Matthew Broderick, Andre Braugher, Denzel Washington, great freaking cast. All right, so you have this one scene in the movie where Denzel Washington's character, he's trying to convince some of the other guys to tag along with him because there's some really good food just some yards away or whatever, right? And they're like, nah, man, not doing that. Not trying to get in trouble. You go ahead, you do that. And you got to remember what's at stake here. These black men, these slaves that volunteered to participate in this war, right? Come out of it, they're going to be given their freedom, right? But come on, let's be real now. That freedom, only valid at participating states, right? It's kind of one of those type of things. You got to read the fine print, right? So he actually goes and gets him some food or whatever. Now, where I'm a little bit murky because it's been some years, what I can't remember is if that's what got him caught because they got him coming back or if it was something else. But I remember Matthew Broderick, he played their general, it's daybreak and he's like, yeah, what's going on here? Because he sees, Denzel. It looks like he's leaning up against whatever, and the commanding officer tells him, oh, he was caught, blah, 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 blah. And how do you plan on giving him disciplinary action? It's like, we're going to whip him, sir. And Broderick's like, okay, is that really necessary? And he's like, you got to teach these guys a lesson, like, getting out of line here. It's like, it's nothing personal. It's like, got to show them tough love here. It's like, okay, go ahead, proceed. And it was an Irish prick that was the commanding officer or whatever that was in charge of training the guys, whipping them into shape and all that. And you could kind of tell that for him, it wasn't a race issue, not really. It was just about turning boys into men. That's basically what it was about, right? To each its own, but essentially that's what it was about. So anyway, he takes off Denzel Washington's shirt. And his back is scarred up like a motherfucker because this guy's been whipped before, right? And I think Denzel Washington's character had got like 20 lashes or some shit like that, right? First 5, man, them joints go by like a breeze. He's just looking at Matthew Broderick like, okay, and what? I'm getting whipped, and what? But after whip number 5, you start seeing the tear drip down his freaking face or whatever. And the motherfucker, he starts, moving his mouth and all this other shit, like seriously. And he's downright about to bust out and just, please no more, right? That was more, and I'm telling you, when you see the first 5 lashings that Denzel Washington's character gets in Glory, the first 5 lashes, that surpasses anything that you had saw that went down with Cody tonight, right? Man, that was just weak sauce, and I get it, they were trying to kill time and everything, but no, I just looked at that, and you stare at me, yo Jesus Christ pose, like, it's like, get the fuck out of here with that, man. That was just so, I didn't care for it, but I did lose my shits and laughed hysterically when after Cody took the lashings, and you got Arn Anderson and everybody, they're trying to help him out and everything, help him stand up to his feet, right? You got MJF, he's like, damn it, right? And it's like, MJF, why are you upset, brother? you got in a couple of weeks Wardlow taking on Cody. So look, Cody, by the time he gets through Wardlow, man, it's going to be some scraps. It should be easy pickings for you. You should still be confident. What the hell? But I love the fact that MJF just basically went mother lover and kicked him in the jewels and rolled the hell out with Wardlow, right? Like hit it and run. That was hilarious as hell. I enjoyed that spot. That was good, right? I honestly was fine without the Brandy joint. You know, did we have to have Brandy? We didn't need Brandy. We didn't. Honestly, we did not need Brandy in there. I look, to AEW's credit, to the upper management's credit, that includes Brandy and Cody, they've done a phenomenal job not referencing them as husband and wife. They've done a superb job in separating the two, making sure their respective story arcs do not cross paths in any type of way. I appreciate and I can understand the importance of having Brandy come out there, which was essentially like 1976 Rocky. Can we be honest with that? You know, Rocky's getting his ass whooped or whatever, and you got Adrian, she comes on out there finally, and, you know, she's got her head down, and you hear the music playing, and you know, you got Mick, down, stay down, you know. You know, that was essentially what Brandy was doing tonight. It's like, we really didn't need that. Seriously, we were good. We were good, Brandy. We didn't need you. We had Arn. For me, it just felt like it was too much overkill. That's the most simplistic way I can say it. We had Brandy. We didn't need her. We had Arn Anderson. Who else was there at ringside for Cody? We had Dustin. Dustin was there, was he not? I was getting ready to do the show, but I'd be shocked if you guys were to tell me Young Bucks were not there at ringside, right? The little bit that I saw, it seemed like there was a lot of people in there for Cody. So you didn't need Brandy. Just let Brandy continue to do her nightmare collective thing or whatever it is, right? Because see, here's the narrative that you create when you keep doing this. Well, if Brandy is there for a Cody story arc, then how come Cody can't be there for Brandy's story arc, right? So the more you do your very best to keep these two separate, the best, right? But come on, that cheap ass $12.99 belt from Walmart, get that out of here, man. I've seen Young Bucks were there, Dirk. Okay, so you did further validates my point. You didn't need Brandy there. You didn't. So, but the show felt very so-so. It felt very so-so. You know, it felt like you were just going through the motions, and other than the Moxley Ortiz, I was curious about, other than the tag match, other than the main attraction with the 10 lashings, for me, there really wasn't nothing there as far as AEW tonight. And it's rare that I say something like that, because usually AEW is pretty, but tonight was one of those just going through the motions. So, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the shit, 10 being the awesome sauce, I gotta give this week's Dynamite, I would say it was, you know, look, I appreciate the effort. I'll give them a 6 out of 10 for this week. Let's talk NXT. NXT, things kicking off with your bruiserweights in there. And leave it up to Matt Riddle to make a Bobby Fish reference. I love that. And Bobby Fish was the one that got it all started there. So basically, you've got the bruiserweights and Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, hyping up this upcoming match against the Undisputed Era's Kylie O'Reilly and Bobby Fish for the NXT titles and everything. And Bobby Fish says some line about, you know, he says something that involves fish, and Matt Riddle just latches onto that and makes a song out of it saying, how much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Try saying that 10 times fast, just in, you know, continuously in one fluid motion like that. That was very, very, I love that. And Pete Dunne just continuing to be the hard ass. Nah, man, I'm here for the serious tips, man. I'm not here to play games. But he's playing along. Subliminally, he's playing along. I did enjoy that. That was a nice little back and forth there that they had. Angel Garza was in action. I like the fact that he's doing double duty right now. And honestly, look, let's be honest with each other. Did you honestly expect that Angel Garza was truly done with NXT? No. This is going to... But see, here's the thing. Depending on how well he is well received by... Who is it? Vince McMahon. Who's the other guy? Bruce Pritchard. All of those guys. Paul Heyman. Depending on how well he connects with them over the course of the next couple of weeks, now that he's on Raw and essentially doing double duty on NXT, I think it's really going to determine how sooner he becomes a permanent fixture on the Raw brand, if at all, right? So to see him on this week's NXT, I wasn't surprised by it whatsoever. And look, when you've got these opportunities, man, this is what it's all about, right? It's all about making that impression and running with it. And he's continuing to go out there and amaze, man. That was a solid matchup that he had against Isaiah Swerve Scott. Angel Garza defeating him pretty swiftly there, but it was still a rather good technical matchup. And then following that up, two powerhouses going at it as Dijakovic defeated Killian Dane. Dijakovic building up quite a portfolio here, man. Just a couple of weeks ago, he defeated Damian Priest, and now he takes out Killian Dane, right? And I love that nod afterwards where the meeting of the minds, you have Killian Dane, Keith Lee meeting up, Keith Lee giving that nod, letting him know, I see you, boy. I see what you're doing, and I like it. Yeah, I think I want to defend this title against you. You just might be the man after all. That's what's up, right? So, the question that comes to mind, how many more opponents is Dijakovic going to have to go through in order to properly... Honestly, I think with what we saw tonight, I think officially he was anointed the number one contender. Now it's just a matter of making it official and all that. But Dijakovic... It's badass dude. But if I were to kind of look in the crystal ball just a little bit, I personally would not mind seeing Dijakovic, Damian Priest, and Keith Lee in a triple threat match for the North American Championship. That's just me. Or make it a fatal four-way, right? You do that as well. But, WWE, they got some very interesting options they can go here with Keith Lee for his first official title defense there. But Dijakovic, of all the guys currently on the NXT roster, Damian Priest, I'm very impressed with how quickly he's been able to adapt to the WWE system and everything. Dijakovic is coming along as well. I can remember watching this guy in other promotions, and he is just right. Still a couple of flaws, though, with both of those two big men that I just mentioned. And for me, it's all about the in-ring persona, right? They can definitely be two bona fide future stars for years to come. But it's that they've got the connection there with the WWE fan base. And I remember I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but I can't reiterate it and stress it enough. They're in this position right now where the only thing that needs more fine-tuning is their characters. That's really it. Whether it is a catchphrase or some type of memorable promo spot, they need something that can be the highlight of their career that they can ride going into that next quarter and everything. Speaking of promos, I got to give it up to the production promo that was set up. Austin is saying it is official. It's going to be Lee taking on Dijakovic at TakeOver. So Portland. Good, Austin. Good. So I'm happy with that. Because honestly, my biggest fear, as much as I would have loved to see in a triple threat or a fatal four-way for the NXT North American Championship, I really wanted to see Keith Lee one-on-one, and it's starting off with Dijakovic. So to hear that it's actually going to be Keith Lee and Dijakovic at TakeOver, I'm happy with that. That's going to be a killer freaking match. I think that's going to be one of the most underrated matches that's going to have a lot of people talking. I can just see it on paper. People are going to go, that should be a good match. But I think that's going to be one of a few matches that's wow, that's going to really take people by storm. So look out for that. That's my dark horse match of that whole card for TakeOver coming up. We were talking about promos. Balor, Johnny Gargano. I got to give those guys props. And I also got to give the guys from the production side of things a lot of props for this. I'm not really sure how much breathing room that Johnny Gargano and Finn Balor were given in this one-on-one interview segment. It was basically split camera and we saw them on the screen and everything. But man, both of those guys, they hit a fucking home run. I loved it. For Finn Balor to come at Johnny Gargano the way that he did, basically saying that, I see what you're doing. You're trying everything you can to be the next Finn Balor, but you're not going to be Finn Balor. And Johnny Gargano countering right back. See, no. That's where you're wrong, Balor. I'm not trying to be you. There's only one and only one Johnny Gargano, one Johnny Wrestling. And now, let's be real here. I have main evented in more TakeOver events than you have. I became the first Triple Crown NXT champion. I need this match because I want to defeat one of the longest reigning NXT champions in NXT history. But you need this match as well. And Finn Balor balked at him like, hell you mean I need this match, right? And Finn Balor once again trying to come back on the rebound, fired up and everything, coming right back at Johnny Wrestling and everything. And Johnny was like, no, see, that's it. That's exactly it. That emotion, that tenacity, everything that you're putting out there right now, that's the Finn Balor I need. I don't need the Finn Balor that was on Raw and SmackDown. No. I don't need the Finn Balor that lost to Bobby Lashley for like 17 weeks. Because I promise you, if you bring that Finn Balor to TakeOver, I'm going to freaking destroy him. Right? He's like, no, bring that Finn Balor. That's the Balor that I need. Right? And you got Finn Balor. He's like, understand something. I'm not coming out there for match of the year. And Johnny's like, I don't want you to come out there for match of the year. No, just bring me everything you got. Bring me this Balor. That's the one I need to see at TakeOver, right? And he pretty much ends it. Gargano, that is. He pretty much ends it, puts down his mic, and he just walks off. And you've got Balor just coming right back there at the end. I'm not coming there for match of the year. I'm going to be there to have the match for your life, right? So basically, Gargano, you're going to be fighting for your life in this match that's coming. That's going to be an insane classic. I know it's a bit premature, but I truly believe in my heart of hearts that Gargano, Balor, that's going to be a match of the year candidate for NXT. That is going to be a match of the year candidate. Mark that down. Remember that. Book it from what I said here tonight. Mercedes Martinez defeated a quiet return to in-ring action there, and Casey Catanzaro pretty much had defeated her swiftly. I'm happy to see Casey back. I just hope that at this point she's back on a somewhat regular basis. I was quite impressed with her during the Mae Young Classic, if you guys recall. Enjoyed her tremendously. I thought that she adapted to the in-ring stuff quite fast. So I really hope that whatever was going on with her in her personal life, that it's behind her, at least for now, and she's back on a somewhat regular basis. Jordan Devlin defeated Tyler Breeze. That actually was a good matchup, but I can't remember if that was for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. That's the only thing I can't remember because I was flipping back and forth, but that was a pretty good matchup there between those two. And can I just do this? Can I just go back to Balor and Gargano for a hot second? And the reason why I want to go back to them for a hot second, kudos to Shawn Michaels, Triple H in particular, everybody involved in NXT. Because you take a guy like Finn Balor, night and fucking day. Obvious. When you look at him on the main roster, it was a bust. We had high expectations for this young man. And for whatever respected reasons, certain individuals just did not see it in him. And he was in purgatory as a result, downright relegated to being used as enhancement talent. And that was such a disservice to a guy like Finn Balor, who, let's be honest, if he was a free agent right now, I don't have confidence that he would shoot to the top and be an AEW World Heavyweight Champion. He would definitely be drawing at the gates, though. He definitely would. But for a promotion like maybe ROH, for a promotion like New Japan Pro Wrestling, right? Or maybe even MLW, especially now that they've got the partnership there going on with, who is it? Is it Dragon Gate? I think it's Dragon Gate. I'm happy that he's back in NXT. I really am. And honestly, if I'm Finn Balor, once was enough as far as going to the main roster. Once was enough. Never again. Never again. Because they just don't know what to do with him. And honestly, until we get to a point in time where Triple H has full say in Raw and or SmackDown, then leave Finn Balor right where he is. Leave him right where he is. In a perfect other world, Balor should have been at least a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion right by now from Raw or SmackDown, or both shows respectfully. So, you know, what I saw from Finn Balor since he's been back in NXT, just everything just culminating in that nice, passionate promo tonight and everything, it shows in my mind and reaffirms what we all personally felt, that we all knew all along. Hey, Balor, that's a guy you really should not be sleeping on whatsoever. And the fact that he's able to do this without the paint, he has been showing more personality, more character than ever before. That whole, they get him. I don't understand what's so hard about, hey, for this particular guy, this is the way that we wrote for him and everything. I don't understand what's so hard about, okay, well, you know what? Since we're going to have this guy on SmackDown or we're going to have him on Raw, what is so hard about asking your NXT team that's writing and producing the stuff, hey, we got him in this feud against so-and-so on SmackDown or on Raw. Could you guys maybe ink out this story arc and, where it should go? I think you should kind of delegate that. Let it be kind of like, treat it like almost a video game somewhat. Maybe like a side quest, right? So all the NXT writers are doing their thing with the main show, right? Give them a side quest. Be like, hey, for this cat up here, right? Oh, okay, yeah, cool. We can do a little something like that on the side. Yeah, no problem. And yeah, okay, cool. We got you. Yeah, no problem. I don't understand. I don't understand. It sucks. It sucks, but I'm happy. I'm happy for Balor. He's going to be tearing it up with Gargano in a couple of weeks. I can't wait for that. It's going to be good. See, also Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. That was a great verbal triple dance way. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Ooh, it felt like it was on the set of Maury or Jerry Springer or whatever, right? By the way, I'm really loving the new Judge Jerry show. That show kicks ass. If you guys didn't know, I know Jerry Springer ended last year, but he's been doing this thing with Judge Jerry. Yeah, it's 30 minutes, and I always forget that on top of him being a mayor, he was a lawyer also for many years. So for him going into judge, okay, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. It's a good show. It runs about 30 minutes, and he basically operates like People's Court and everything, and you get a lot of Jerry. You get his personality, and he talks a lot more and everything. There was one episode that really tugged at my heart. It's worth going out of your way to try to see if you could find it somewhere online. But there was one episode of Judge Jerry where he tackled a case where there was a deadbeat landlord that had promised this home to a mother and her child. I can't remember what disability the child had, but you were like, oh man, that sucks. And this landlord just kept asking for deposits. Like he kept increasing the money, and it was really it was fucked up. It was fucked up. Try to see if you could maybe find that. The landlord, I remember though, the landlord looked like a broke ass Cedric the Entertainer. He looked like a broke ass Cedric the Entertainer. That's the one thing that I do remember from all of that. But yeah, Charlotte, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, that was a fantastic three-way verbal dance that they had there. Like I said, it felt like I was watching something from Jerry Springer. It was awesome. Seeing Bianca staying firm and tall, going, Rhea, you forgot all about me, boo-boo. Like, what's going on? You and me got this match at TakeOver coming up, and you looking past me. You looking at Charlotte. No. It's going to be about me. You don't need to be worried about the queen. Like, she ain't even here, right? And Charlotte comes on out. Charlotte, man. God damn, honey, look beautiful tonight. Gorgeous. I said it a couple of months ago, and I can't stress it enough. If you guys get the opportunity to see Charlotte Flair at a public event, comic book signing, or, Awesome Con or some type of a con event or whatever, take advantage, go see her. You won't be disappointed, but just a heads up. And you can be a rather tall person. When you see her in person, homegirl is tall. I said it on Twitter. The camera does not do her justice. She is a Amazonian tall ass woman. And so to see her get in there with my girl Bianca Belair just hovering like a damn skyscraper over a damn, tower building, like shit, that was nice. And then you got Rhea Ripley coming out there. Rhea Ripley looks like she can definitely handle a girl like Charlotte, right? And I'm hoping that when it comes to their match, I'm hoping it's going to be a stiff match. That's how it needs to be. I don't need to see no high flying. You don't need to try to impress me with a whole bunch of technical shit. I don't need that. Just let it be a straight up stiff match. I think a stiff, kind of slow pace. Oh, I was able to home in on this one part of the body, and I'm focusing on that for most of the match. Then do a nice little quick hot comeback, right? Give me that type of a story. I think most fans would be okay with that, right? Eventually, we saw Bianca and Rhea Ripley. They joined forces because, after all, it is NXT. They ganged up on Charlotte, beat the tar out of her, right? So Charlotte essentially did not make any announcement as far as if she was going to accept Rhea Ripley's challenge, right? So Charlotte got a little bit of a receipt to dish out. So you'd like to believe that over the course of the next couple of weeks, and to the point, Siri, hey Siri, when's the next WWE NXT TakeOver event? Let's see how smart she is.
Okay, I found this on the web for when's the next WWE NXT TakeOver event. Check it out.
I got the Google Echo. I had got that through a special promotion. I recorded a unboxing and review for it, and I'm telling you, I think that's really going to be my new go-to. Just from what I was doing and testing it out last night, as a matter of fact, I gotta tell you, because sometimes, and I think you guys would be in agreement with me, Siri has a blonde moment. No, that's an insult to blondes. Siri is not reliable. Let's just leave it at that. So yeah, that's coming up on February 16th. Okay, so essentially you have really a week left to make your point there. Okay, so if I were to kind of look into the crystal ball a little bit here, right? And so far the matches for NXT TakeOver Portland is shaping up to be pretty good. It's going to be going down in Oregon at the Moda Center. We've got Rhea Ripley defending the championship against Bianca Belair. We got Finn Balor taking on Johnny Gargano. Undisputed Era taking on the Bruiserweights for the NXT tag titles. Adam Cole taking on Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT championship. Dakota Kai taking on Tegan Nox. Street fight. Keith Lee defending the NXT North American title against Dijakovic. So looking pretty good so far there. If I were to kind of make a prediction here, because she's got to get her comeuppance, right? So here's the main question. Do you waste, well, not necessarily waste, But do you have Charlotte pop up next week to maybe try to do a little something to Bianca Belair? Or do you maybe have something play out on a WWE.com exclusive that you could play on next week's NXT, and then go in a direction of where when you go into next week's NXT, hey, is Bianca Belair really going to be okay going into this match against Rhea Ripley, right? You could kind of put that narrative out there because Charlotte has 2 receipts she needs to cash in. But I can definitely see, mark it down, I can definitely see, and WWE would fools to not do this, I can definitely see at the end of the night when Rhea Ripley defeats Bianca to retain the championship, Charlotte out of nowhere. And hopefully that's the last match of the night, maybe, right? But if not, that's fine. But have Charlotte pop up randomly from the crowd, beat the crap out of Rhea Ripley. They're officially, hey, I accept your challenge, right? That's the best way to play it out at this point. So we'll see how that pans out. I was talking about Tommaso Ciampa there in the match that he's going to be having there against Adam Cole. We did see Undisputed Era. They were running around throughout the night, all backstage looking for Tommaso, and they couldn't find him for nothing. We saw them beat up Kushida. They picked on some kid that was trying to get his haircut done, right? It wasn't a wrestler, right? Just some kid getting a haircut, picked on him. There's a few people that they had picked on. Eventually, they did run into him, but once again, he's getting the one up on them. I remember they were somewhere around the production truck or whatever, and Tommaso took one of the truck doors, rammed it into the face of one of the guys, and it was kind of like one of those divide and conquer type of deals. He had all this crazy action that spilled out to the ring eventually as Tommaso was beating the holy crap out of Cole, or rather, both men were going back and forth at each other. Then you have the other members of Undisputed Era come out. They're jumping on them. And then you have Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne. They come out, balancing out the odds. William Regal salivating. He was loving this. He's going, okay, we're going to squash this right now. You guys want a piece of each other so bad? All right, well, you guys make sure you get your street clothes on, take them off and everything. You guys are going to be having a match later on. So that, I believe that was one of the main matches of the night here. Because at that point, I actually was starting to get ready for the show here. So let me look at what that main event match was. Because the last thing I'm going to do is come on here and tell you guys, oh yeah, I saw that. I know I saw little tiny bits of pieces. Yeah, I did see the tail end of it. I do remember that much, but sadly I didn't see the beginning of it. But it looked like it was pretty good. I'm actually going to have to go back on the DVR and watch that one. Bruiserweights and Tommaso Ciampa, they did defeat the Undisputed Era. And that sucks I had missed that, but I was actually getting ready for the show at that point. That match actually went about 14 minutes long, give or take. So I'm a little bit bummed out. Yeah, like I said, I caught about the tail end of that match because at that point, usually for me, that 45-minute mark, I'm starting to get the stream set up, getting down some additional notes and all that. But NXT tonight did have the better card. They did have the better matches. I mean, as far as where to go to, as far as the matches that really stood out to me the most for the night, I got to say the Angel Garza, Isaiah Scott, that was pretty good. Dijakovic taking on Killian Dane, that actually was pretty damn good. Give those two a nod. Jordan Delvin taking on Tyler Breeze. Enjoyed that one. That was pretty good. And you know what? I'll give it an honorable mention just because I saw the tail end of it, but it did look like it was pretty good. I probably saw like about the last 5 minutes, give or take, of that main event match. I got to kind of give that a nod too. So just on the quality and matches of the execution, NXT, the better deal. To the polls we go. Got a poll exclusively on Twitter asking you all, what did you think about this week's AEW and NXT? First up, NXT, since we just got done talking about that. Votes are still coming in kind of early. Right now, 100% of you are saying that NXT, thumbs up tonight. Meanwhile, for AEW Dynamite, 7.1% of you are giving it a thumbs down, while 92.9% of you are giving it a thumbs up. So interesting right there. And also, friendly reminder, as we have 10 hours left, I'm getting ready to put the link in the chat right now. And with 10 hours left, you can help me choose the next book to read now that I finish Mayor Kane, WWE's Kane. And this book that you guys vote on, I'll be reading it and I'll be giving it a review. I'm going to be juggling that along with Jim Ross's new book, The Man Under the Black Hat. I was able to receive an advance copy, an early release of that book, as that book is not going to be released until March 31st. So I'm going to be reading Jim Ross's new book with this book that you guys will get to vote on. And, you know, at one point it was like Rocky Johnson, but then AJ Lee. What's been consistent is a tie. And as we stand right now tonight, we're at a tie once again. So please, with 10 hours left, man, go in there, cast your vote. If you've already voted, do me a huge favor. Like, it's a pinned tweet. You can see it as soon as you go on my Twitter profile. It's pinned. You can't miss it. Do me a huge favor. Like, retweet it. That way more people can cast their vote and all that, right? So we greatly appreciate that. And I have not forgotten about Velveteen Dream. I just wanted to mention that while I was still thinking about it. Come on. As much as a man crush that I have on Velveteen Dream, you know I'm not going to forget about Velveteen Dream. I got it in my notes right here. But before NXT had went off the air, we did see the lights go off. And I remember on the Titantron, they had showed 2-5-20. Now, it wasn't 2020. They just showed 2, 5, and a 20. And you're going, what does that mean? And then they had all went in a triangle direction, like it was some type of Powerball or some shit. And it turned into sunglasses. And you're going, oh shit, that's got to be. And it was the one and only Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream had, he was standing on top of the top turnbuckle from what I remember. Yeah. Because the lights were pretty dim. It had like a purple type of hue thing that was going on. See, I told you, I watched the final minutes of it. And he actually did a leaping body cross over the guys of Undisputed. See, what else had went down? Brawled. Crowd was just erupting like a mofo. I know I was cheering like a motherfucker because it's been several months since we had saw Velveteen Dream. You got Mauro Ranallo and them saying, hey, one of the last times we had saw Velveteen Dream, he actually got taken out by the Undisputed Era. We all know he's been dealing with some injuries and all. That's because, honestly, the style in which Velveteen Dream puts out there, he goes at such a hard rate. I mean, he puts it all out there. And sometimes you got to know when you need to pump the brakes a little bit. You don't need to spasm all out there on the main show. Sometimes just saving your greatest hits for those takeovers is where it counts the most, right? Do it like that. But he was giving out super kicks, Dream Valley drivers left and right, and it was awesome. Posing with the crowd afterwards. I'm happy that he's back. I really am, because he has sorely been missed on the NXT roster. And everybody knows how much of a man crush I have on that dude. I mean, who doesn't have a man crush on Velveteen Dream? That's a badass mofo, dude. Badass mofo. So I'm glad he's back into the mix there. And I can't wait to see him in some of these cool matchups. You know, honestly, I'm looking at a guy like Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee and Velveteen Dream, I think that would be pretty damn interesting. And then you also got the whole tag team division that's off on all cylinders there. Velveteen can easily slide right in there, right? That would be good. Velveteen Dream taking on Kushida, right? Ooh, that would be pretty freaking good, right? That'd be pretty badass. So many nice new combinations that you can do with him now that he's back, because he's been away for a good minute. It's not like he's been gone for 3 months or something like that. He's been gone for relatively a good minute there. But no, overall, NXT, like I said, it was a good show tonight. I told you guys the polling results, but I was mainly focused on daggone book. help me choose the next book. If I have to wake up and go to work the next day and I see this as a tie, you guys will break my heart tremendously. So like I said, like it, retweet it, all that good stuff. Let's see if we can get as many votes in there as possible. And hopefully 10 hours from now, it's not going to be at a tie. And for those of you that have voted, you have liked, retweeted, I appreciate it. I can't thank everybody. I saw some people that were like, Lee, I voted. And it's like, you know, if you vote, that's great, you know, but I do appreciate it. But I can't thank every single body individually, because it kind of seemed to me that the people that were trying to let me know that they did vote, it was almost kind of like they were looking for that acknowledgement. And, you know, sadly, it's like I can't get to every single body. It's like if you vote, you're voting because sincerely you want me to read that book and you want me to review it. You want to know what's up. Maybe, you know, if that's something you should check out or whatever, right? But to everybody that did vote, appreciate it. Everybody that's liking, sharing the links and all that, appreciate that tremendously. Thank you. And again, that link for you guys that's checking out the stream here, the webcast stream, it is available in the YouTube chat right now for you guys. And I'm just looking at some notifications real quick here. Okay, and we're good to go. So now we can get into some headlines here as we are nearing the end of the show. We've been doing pretty good so far. I think at this point, let me look at the recording time here. We've been going at it for about how long here? Let me look here. Where are we here? Pull this back up. So we've been at it for about an hour, 35 minutes. I got a couple of headlines we can get into. I think at this point, it feels like it's probably going to be maybe an hour 45, maybe like an hour, almost 50 minutes. You guys have been noticing the past couple of times we've been streaming, the shows have gotten shorter, right? So I'm trying to be more conscientious of the time and all that. So let's go there though. Let's go there. We got some more topics we can go into. First off, if you guys did not check out this week's WWE, oh, wait. Before we even go any further, ratings, right? Yeah, ratings. Okay, so check this out. So let's see if I can bring up the AEW ratings here. That way I can give you guys the proper... Hang on here. I'm trying to pull up my tweet from before. And I got my phone right here, so it's actually relatively easy for me to do this. I'll just say ratings, and I'll just say at the RCWR show. And I should be able to pull it up here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, here we go. All right, so in case you missed it on Twitter and you missed the show last week, right? So when it came to the predictions for last week's show, right? The numbers that I went with, let's see here. The numbers I went with is as follows here. Hang on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I don't think it's that one. No, I don't think it's that one. Hang on, guys. Let's see here. I think I see it. I'm not sure. Let's see here. So I'm looking at the tweet I put out on January the 30th, and I had said AEW was going to be 844,150. NXT was going to be 785,000. That's what I had said. Meanwhile, and I know this tweet is here because I had basically tweeted myself again here. So let me see here. Yeah, that's weird. Actually, let me go into Discord. Hang on, guys. Because I'm tripping over that number right now because I want to make sure I'm being consistent here. So let me see here. And usually there's not that much interaction that's going on in the Discord. So bear with me a couple of seconds here. And while I am pulling that up, I want to give you guys a friendly reminder to support the RCWR show on patreon.com/RCWR show. You can check out bonus audio and video content, great majority of which you won't be able to find anywhere else. Again, patreon.com/RCWR show. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's weird. It's not in the Discord. I know it's on the Facebook. I'm going to try the Facebook here. And let me see here. Because I remember saying, oh, we got the ratings. Here it is. And I remember I commented on it. Let's see here. And if I can't find it, then I'm just going to say fuck it. And we'll just keep on going. The best part I love about doing this show is when it comes to the audio version, all of what's happening right now is edited out. Here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so for last Wednesday's show, I had projected 844,150 for AEW. NXT, I said 785,000 even, right? The official numbers for those respective shows, AEW ended up being 828,000. Pretty good, right? Because I predicted 844, right? That's pretty good. Meanwhile, NXT, the official number was 712, and I had said 785,000. All right, so not too bad for the NXT. AEW was definitely more closer. All right, so I'm going to say for this go round, I'm going to say for this go round, it's a tricky one. This is tricky, guys. This is tricky. I'm going to say NXT wins this week. I'm going to say NXT wins this week, but not by much. I'm going to say NXT, and I'm actually going to type this up right now. I'm going to say NXT. I'm going to say NXT wins by 751,000 for NXT. And for AEW, I'm going to say 749,000 for AEW. That's what I'm going to say. So if you really stop and think about it, if last week's AEW was 828 and I'm putting AEW at 749,000, what's the difference of that? Hey Siri, 749 minus 828.
749 minus 828 is negative 79.
So we're looking at a difference of about 79,000 viewers, basically, that would drop off. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to go in that direction. We'll see. But again, I've got NXT winning this week, barely, 751,000 to AEW's 749,000, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. As a matter of fact, let me just boost that number up a little bit. I'm gonna say NXT is like I'm gonna say 751,000 and 550. Let's see here. Where are we? Hang on, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna say 71,550 for NXT. And I'm going to say for AEW, 749,950. Yeah. So let me put this in the chat for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about here. And we'll see what happens. All right, so here we go. Let me post it in here. There. That's how I'm looking at it. So remember that. So, we can't. Usually I try to put it out immediately when I tweet out the numbers, right? But now it's in stone because everybody can see the live chat replay. So now you can see officially the timestamp at the time that we're recording the show right now on February 6, 2020 at 12:05 a.m. I'm saying NXT will win, but not by much. It's really not much to be bragging about. But 550,000 for NXT. AEW 749,950 is how I'm looking at it. So we'll wait and see. Would I be surprised if AEW wins again? No, but I can even put to the side as far as who had the better show. I just kind of feel like with the current flow of the ratings, I just kind of feel as though NXT is going to have the slight edge, but not by much. And I really do feel that, contrary to how some people have felt from the Monday night show, that the whole, one person had commented, and I'm not saying this to throw them in under the bus in any type of way, so hopefully they don't take it personal, but there was a person that had said, fans don't care about Charlotte. And I remember saying to them, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but there's a lot of people that actually do care about Charlotte. And if you're mentioning on Monday night that Charlotte is going to be appearing on NXT, I mean, that's easily, about 12,000 right there, give or take. So yeah, you're talking to somebody that was waiting in line and covering AwesomeCon a couple of years ago. And I was covering everybody's interactions and all that with Shinsuke Nakamura, Charlotte and all that. And they had their autograph signings and all. I think they did a Q&A joint as well. I'm not really sure. But the lines were out the ass for those guys, especially for Charlotte's lines, more so than Shinsuke Nakamura. So if you're hyping up Monday, Charlotte's going to be coming over there on Wednesday. I'm not saying all the credit needs to be, but if you're already building up hype and anticipation, right? That's all I'm saying. So we'll see. All right, let's get into a couple of headlines here, man. All right, so if you missed WWE Backstage, you missed quite an interesting episode. I definitely recommend you guys go out of your way and check it out. Drew McIntyre was on there, and he basically talked about, I just got to a point where I just opened up. I just started having fun. When I came back, they wanted me to be this mean Scottish killing machine and everything, and that's what I was doing. But for me, it really felt like the one thing that was missing all of this time was just me going out there, having fun, and that's what you're seeing of me now. Now you're just seeing me out there. I'm at peace. I'm having the time of my life right now. I'm enjoying it, right? So, and you can tell, it's all in his work as of late. So I'm liking it. It was nice. He was very humbled and everything. Check it out. It was good shit. But also, breaking news came from WWE Backstage, as two of my favorites have now signed to WWE. They are at the Performance Center as we speak. Timothy Thatcher and my main man, Killer Kross, signed with the WWE. I'm happy for both guys, but more so Killer Kross, because I followed his career more closely than I did of Thatcher. I'll definitely admit that up front. Killer Kross is somebody that I had the pleasure of watching down in Impact Wrestling. And from one of the first times I saw that dude, I said, yeah, that's a dude that's going places. Got to keep your eyes on him. And while we were still checking out Impact Wrestling faithfully, he is somebody that I continue to put over time and time again, right? So for me, I'm happy for the dude. And remember, we were on the show several weeks back talking about what direction could Killer Kross go, right? As far as the promotion, where could he go? And I remember so many people, AEW and, here. And we went over, I'm not going to make it long and drawn out, right? Just rewind it back to the previous shows. But I said one of the main reasons why WWE you should go with. And the main thing was, for me, number one, family. This girl, Scarlett Bordeaux, is over there. So if it means that they're now going to be in a position where they're going to be able to travel together, right? And WWE, to their credit, over the course of several years, they've been doing their best to keep couples together, right? All right, number one. And then number two, most profitable. Whatever you're looking for, right? And you want to try to renegotiate and all that, okay, well, WWE can definitely work with you if you prove yourself, right? So, all right, money, all right, you got that. What's next? As far as trust in his character, the development, the creative freedom and everything, yeah, you could say there may be a couple of restraints a little bit there up on the main roster. But being part of that whole developmental system, and you know he's going to be going through NXT, he's going to be in good hands with Triple H and crew. There's no way they're going to fail him whatsoever, right? I think the one question that we all need to be asking ourselves is he going to be going by Killer Kross? That's the main question, right? And I hope he is, because I would hate to see him essentially be repackaged and all that under a different name. Let him continue to roll out there as Killer Kross. I don't see any controversy. I don't think that name is tabooish or anything whatsoever. Let him go out there. I mean, if you want to do anything cutesy with the name, maybe instead of it being KK, maybe you go with CK, right? Or actually, I know that's a hell of a way to spell, right? Because you can leave yourself open to some funny promos there. Or you could say KC. I would lean more towards KC, Killer Kross. You could do it that way, right? Just so you can officially and if I was WWE, if I'm the legal, the revenue people or whatever, that's what I'm saying to them. I'm saying, look, he's already got a cult following and everything. If we were to rebrand him at this point, try to officially make it like he's our own experiment here, that whole following, nobody's gonna, right? So go ahead, play with the words a little bit, make it KC instead of KK, and then go from there, right? Speaking of Killer Kross, by the way, and it couldn't happen to a nicer dude, and I sincerely mean that. People that I've spoken to and just what I've gathered about him over these past couple of years, he comes off as a very nice, likable dude, very approachable and everything, and haven't heard not one bad thing about him. So it couldn't happen to a cooler fucking dude. And speaking of Killer Kross, for you shoot DVD lovers, he's got a shoot DVD that's going to be dropping in a couple of weeks. RF Video, and shout out to RF Video, they have it on sale right now. And check this out, for a limited time, you have your pick of a autographed Killer Kross shoot DVD, or you can get the DVD and an autograph 8x10. How about that, right? And if you decide you want to go for the autograph 8x10 and the DVD, that's going to cost you about almost $40, but it's well worth it. Now, Rob Feinstein of our video, when he normally, puts these blasts out, usually he has it out, the DVDs in the mail. He usually has them out in about 2 weeks. So it could take about 2 weeks to get it out there. So, but you can order right now. So I got my copy. My copy is definitely on the way. And I was telling Rob, I said, dude, I haven't reviewed some stuff from you in a good minute. So for 2020 to kick off like this, one of the first shoot interviews I get to review, because any longtime listener knows I love reviewing shoot interviews and all that, shoot DVDs. So for me to be able to kick off 2020, one of the first shoot DVDs that's going to be in my hands is something of Killer Kross. Fucking sign me up. I can't wait to peep that out. And if that Killer Kross news ain't enough for you guys, there's some other Killer Kross news that's going down as well. Killer Kross is actually going to be getting an award. I don't know how many of you guys heard about that, but Killer Kross is going to be receiving the Future Legend Award. And Hannibal TV, they were actually one of the first to put this news out there. And I wonder if I can, I can actually. It's about 6 minutes long, but let's see if we can maybe just get the main gist of this. Let me see if I can get more information for you guys here. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like he received the Cauliflower Alley Club Future Legend Award at the 2019 reunion in Las Vegas. Hannibal TV had actually covered that and everything. And there was actually a January 2020 interview that Hannibal TV did with Killer Kross as well. So just hop on Hannibal's YouTube channel and you can check out some of the highlights of that. So, I mean, so here's a young man that, from what I've been saying over the years, very promising career, right? Going in the right direction, nothing but up. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen for him in this next chapter of his professional career. So going to be watching, and I'm of all the people over the years, you know, other than Tessa Blanchard, and which, by the way, Tessa Blanchard, if you guys missed it, she's actually going to be holding a media press conference. It's going down this week. Obviously, it's being set up through Impact Wrestling. I would love to be in on that press conference call. I would. I have a feeling she's definitely going to be addressing the biggest elephant in the room and all of that other stuff. As you guys know, I had participated in the last Impact Wrestling conference call and all that. So, yeah, I would love to try to see if I can get in on that one. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Tessa Blanchard. I don't mind going a couple of minutes. I feel pretty good. I still got plenty of energy, but we'll definitely try to keep this under 2 hours. I don't really think we have anything much else to talk about here. I'm just looking in the notes here. WWE backstage notes, by the way. CM Punk, he's going to be back on backstage next week. Charlotte Flair is actually going to be at the studio as well, so that should be pretty good. And there's a rumor going around about Samoa Joe that WWE had no choice but to put out a statement to deny the reports, but some rumors were being put out that Samoa Joe got suspended for violating the wellness policy. WWE is saying that is not true at all. He's just dealing with a little bit of an injury. You know, he's going to be back in no time. So, I mean, seriously, I as long as I've watched the career of Samoa Joe enhancements, and no, Joe's biggest problem is injuries. So I don't know how that rumor got started. For me personally, it kind of feels like somebody was trying to make something out of nothing just to be getting hits and clicks and all that shit. It is what it is. Did you hear New Japan Pro Wrestling? Supposedly, they may be working on a new TV deal, and they could be partnering up with Viceland. I mean, that makes a lot of sense in the world, considering Viceland had the successful series Dark Side of the Ring, which is coming back for a second season, I believe, this fall. And then they also, I believe, got the green light for another season of The Wrestlers, right? So it's really nice that a network like Viceland, which frowned on professional wrestling years back, are now being so receptive to it and everything. One of the main hiccups currently for this New Japan Pro Wrestling deal, though, is the rights. See, here's where it gets a little bit tricky, because TV Ashi, they actually own the New Japan Pro Wrestling TV footage rights, which currently they had that deal going on with Access TV through TV Ashi. So obviously some type of a new deal is going to have to be arranged between TV Ashi and Viceland in order to clear being able to get a hold of New Japan Pro Wrestling footage, which honestly, I don't really think it's going to be a problem, but you know, we'll wait and see about that. And while we were talking about Killer Kross, in case you guys missed it, you know, with regards to MLW, they are going to be having their next event that's going to be going down. You know, Killer Kross is going to be taking on Filthy Tom Lawler, right? So I don't know how many of you guys, if you've been kind of in and out on MLW, we're kind of running a little bit of the midnight oil here, but I'll definitely show a lot of love to MLW and Ring of Honor next week. Let you guys know what I've been thinking that's been happening the past couple of weeks now. And also NWA. I like binging on a couple of episodes before I get ready to talk it. That way I can have the most fresh perspective as possible and in real time. I hate just making it seem like it's episodic with some things that we cover on the show. I like for things to kind of bulk up a little bit. Brody King, shout out to him. He officially signed a new contract with Ring of Honor. So that's good news, on top of what Jonathan Gresham is now doing, that now that he's in charge of the Ring of Honor women's division. And then you've got Marty Scurll. He's having a hand in the booking and everything. I'm curious to see what they are going to be doing. And speaking of Ring of Honor, if you're going to be in the Maryland area in the coming days, check this shit out. They're actually going to be doing a Future of the Stars event. And I had shared this in Discord. Saturday, February 8th, doors open at 6:30 p.m. Bell time is 7:30 p.m. Future of Honor. It's going to be happening at the MCW Arena at 1000 Joppa Farm Road in Joppa, Maryland, 21085. I'm checking with the missus because she has to work that weekend. I don't. I never work weekends. I am strictly Monday through Friday is when I work. But I'm trying to see if maybe we could try to pull that off. I mean, the tickets, you can't beat that. If you're going to be in the area, you can't beat the prices. Front row seats are $30. You can literally touch the guys at ringside for $30. You want to be in the second row or whatever? I think that's $20, right? Third row. Forgot how much that was. Maybe that was $15 or something like that. But great affordable prices. So, and there's going to be a couple of ROH stars that's going to pop up from the main roster, but it's really about the stars of tomorrow that's going to be showing up there. So, nice little variety. I always say when you can, try to support your local Fed, right? Also, talking ROH, coming up for the 18th anniversary event. The 18th anniversary event, Dragon Lee is going to be defending that ROH TV title against Bandito. Remember, 18th anniversary is happening March 13th. It's going to be going down in Las Vegas. And that was one of the first matches that was announced for the 18th anniversary show. Meanwhile, let's rewind it back. March 14th, Ring of Honor is going to be holding the past versus present event. They just announced Doug Williams is going to be facing Jonathan Gresham. Other matches that's been announced: Homicide takes on Brody King. Alex Shelley and Matt Sydal will be taking on Marty Scurll and Flip Gordon. Shit sounds badass. And also, New Japan Pro Wrestling. We were talking about them earlier. Let's come back to them one more time. They are going to be presenting the New Beginning in Osaka next Sunday, February the 9th. Actually, this weekend, if you really stop and think about it. It's available right now on Fight TV for $24.99. Or remember, New Japan Pro World, right? It's going to start at 2 a.m. Eastern. The card looks pretty good so far. If I were to try and pronounce some of these names, some of them are going to be a tongue twister, so forgive me in advance. But we've got Nakanishi and Tenzin taking on Rizuki, Taguchi, Toa Henrei, Tamayoka Hanama, and Toji Makabe. That should be good. Makabe. I can pronounce Makabe. That's no problem. You got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, Sho and Yo versus Yoshinobu and El Desperado. You got a special 8-man tag match, Kota Ibushi, Hiroshi Tanahashi, David Finlay, and Juice Robinson taking on Chase Owens, Yujiro Takahashi, Tanga Loa, and Tommy Tunga. Then you got a special tag match, Will Ospreay and Okada face Zack Sabre Jr. and Tachi. You got a special singles match, Sonata taking on Jay White. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Takahashi faces Ryo Lee. For the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship, Jon Moxley is in action as he faces Minoru Suzuki. That should be a fucking killer match. IWGP Heavyweight and IWGP Intercontinental Double Championship, Naito taking on, not that Naito, you know who I'm talking about, taking on Kenta. So looks like it's going to be a pretty damn good card. So looking, I don't know, maybe, I mean, it's on a Thursday night, so I mean, let me look at that again. So it's happening on a Sunday night at 2 a.m. Eastern. Maybe. It just depends what I'm doing, and right, maybe. We'll see. If I do end up watching it and I decide I want to cover it, I think that's going to be a Patreon exclusive that I'm going to be doing for our Patreon members. Speaking of which, I need to get into some shout outs as we get ready to wrap it up here. Let's get into some shout outs and then we'll give you guys some programming notes as we get ready to wind it down here. First off, shout out to Patreon Familia, man. Patreon.com/RCWR show. Check out bonus audio video content, great majority of which you won't be able to find anywhere else. You get a lot of great content for just $5 a month. Put down that nasty ass $5 foot long. It's hamster food. Get a real investment. Check out patreon.com/RCWR show. Great audio video content, exclusive unboxings. You get access to exclusive new and original shows hosted by me, hosted by the missus. Great stuff. Shout out to my good friend, my brother in arms, Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup. Shout out to Justin Ripstock. Justin pushing his new SCU shirt. Hope you enjoy that. You gotta let me know how that works out. Shout out to John Krauser. Krauser, I see you holding it down, man. I see you doing your thing. Krauser's on the move doing big, bad things. I love it. I'm loving it. Also, shout out to Sean Kenter. Freddie R. Freddy. Shout out to Tony Bing Gaming. Once again, man, that Marvel strike force that's going down. There is a serious strike that is happening amongst gamers. They are vowing to not spend any more money on Marvel Strike Force because they are not liking what's coming about with some of the new incoming content for the game. I've been out of the loop because I haven't played the game in a good minute. Because honestly, for me, I kind of felt as though I was starting to get a little bit of the gambling bug. There's some games which, you know, sadly, Marvel Strike Force falls in that category where you kind of feel like you're at a casino and, okay, man, let me get this. Let me get that orb. Let me get that orb. Oh, you know, it's kind of like that. And, you know, so I deleted the app. Haven't thought about the game since. I appointed a new person to be the leader of that group that I created and all that since launch. So I've been out of the loop. The little bit of news that I do know about, I get all my news from Tony Bing. So that's how I know everything that's been going on with the game all of this time. But yeah, some of the ridiculous spending offers that they have out there for starters has Tony Bing Gaming and others saying, wait a minute, we're putting our foot down here. So get the skinny. If you've been out of the loop yourself, you haven't played Marvel Strike Force in the past couple of weeks, right? Visually, it's a great game and everything, but some of the pay-for-play practices is a bit, you know, it's almost at a point right now where you have to pay to play just to have the best roster that's possible to take on other people, you dig? So check him out. He's also got the skinny for the upcoming worldwide release for Marvel Super War. If you guys been fiending for that next Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, we know Nintendo, they got their exclusive version right now, right? So we did have that one Marvel MOBA game, but they shut that bitch down, right? But Tony Bing, he's got the scoops, tips, tricks, reviews. Check him out. Also, shout out to John Davis, Michael Wolf. Yeah, that's everybody. And also shout out to some of our sponsors. I definitely want to show them some love. The RCWR show with Lee Sanders is brought to you in part by Leafy Legal Services. If you are a real estate investor or entrepreneur, these guys can help your business grow with great success and wealth. Check them out, leafyassets.com. Also, you got less than a week left to buy your significant other something oh so tight for Valentine's Day. Set up that nice Valentine's Day weekend. WatchShopUs.com. WatchShopUs.com. Solid brand names, all the works, shipping, reasonable pricing. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a special promotion going on right now on the free shipping, because I know they were doing free shipping during the month of January. I wouldn't be surprised if they were doing it again for this month, but check them out. Great quality products for him and her. And we're brought to you in part by the good folks behind the movie President Evil. Check that out on Amazon. All the links you need is in the episode description of this very episode. Well, we're talking about Valentine's Day, by the way. The 7th annual Slow Jamming with Lee. It's back. I love when we do these for you guys. It's our 7th installment, 7th annual. It's back. Valentine's Day night, 12 a.m. Eastern. Join yours truly. I'm going to be live for a couple of hours playing some of the smoothest hits from the past. All that good stuff, man. I mean, we go all over the place. I do like 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I'm all over the place, man. It's not just one genre either, right? I am taking dedications. So, and please don't be hitting me up with, I want to hear Cherry Pie. Like, it's not that type. Slow jamming. The keyword slow jamming, right? So get an idea. Check out the last 2 slow jamming installments. That gives you a really good sense on what you can expect of the special. And then, like I said, man, you know, you want to have a nice little dedication, go out to your sweetie, you can get at me on social media and let me know. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. Join the Discord server as well. In between the shows, we do talk. It's not always about wrestling. So for those of you that, you know, I kind of need a breather from the wrestling. Let's talk some other stuff. Join our Discord. It's in the episode description as well for you guys to check out. Or if you guys got Twitter, just look at the Twitter profile. I will say this. If you join the Discord, immediately put a message out there and say, you know, hey, Lee and guys, you know, hey, I'm a listener, so don't delete, because it's weird. I've been seeing a spike in people joining, but they haven't been saying anything. And so when you don't immediately say something upon coming in, you will get booted out. So to try to make sure that you're not a spam bot in any type of way and you join the Discord, make sure you put some stuff out there so, you know, we can kind of figure out the connection there, right? All right. So on that note, Patreon members, we're going to do a new 30 with Lee. We're still going to do the Aaron Hernandez at this point. Me and Tams are going to do a 2-in-1. So basically, we're going to record 2 shows in one day. So we're still going to do the Aaron Hernandez, and we're going to do a Kirk Douglas tribute. So those are going to be 2 separate episodes. Those are going to be dropping this week, right? Also, there is a exclusive unboxing that's going to be happening for Patreon. It's already been recorded. I just got to sit down and edit it. We got a unboxing for the newest Pro Wrestling Crate. The theme for this month is Canada, oh Canada. So you guys will be able to check that out. And then there was another unboxing that was recorded. That one, everybody will be able to see. I actually took advantage of a Spotify, Google Home Mini promotion. And so we're going to give you guys the skinny on that. If you kind of were a little bit on the fence about that, right, sound too good to be true or whatever, or you want to get the 4-on-1, keep it right here. We got your hookup for that as well. Okay. And everybody else, if we don't catch you for some of those things, we'll definitely be back with you guys on Monday, February the 10th, 2020. We'll be back as soon as Monday Night Raw goes off the air. So do join us for that. And shout out to everybody that checked out the show live. Shout out to Gino. Shout out to Dirk. Shout out to EW. Shout out to Austin and everybody else that was checking out the stream live tonight. And shout out to those of you that's going to be checking out the show on demand and on the downloads. Until next go round, I am wishing all of you all to be safe and most importantly, be kind to one another. I will see you guys next go round. Adios.